Congratulations everybody, you made it to the last week of instruction and finals week. Now there's not a whole lot to do in this last week, but this last week sort of bleeds into finals week, and so you're definitely going to want to pay attention to know what you have to do to take your final. So now before we get to the final, there are a few things we have to do here in week 17, the last week of instruction. Now, because I normally give an extra week, right? You've always had that 1 week late period. This week doesn't have that 1 week late period. And so I don't want to introduce anything new to the class that you're then going to have to, not have a 1 week late period on. And so there are two things to do this week, both of which are optional. The first thing is our last quiz. There's a quiz on the very small section after Chapter 9, Tech and Focus on careers in technology. Now, if you're interested in careers in technology, it's a good chapter to know, but we know that CIT 12 is not intended for people who are going to pursue a career in technology. And so this is an optional extra section. None of the questions on any of the Tech and Focus sections will be on your final exam. So you don't have to do it. You'll actually see right there in the week 17 folder, the quiz is there, it's listed as optional, and if you take it, I will just use that score to replace one of your old quiz scores. So whichever quiz score was the lowest, it will be replaced by this optional quiz. So if you've got a quiz in the past that you're not really quite satisfied with the grade, I don't give extra credit, I don't do those sorts of things, but here in this last week, just to sort of help people out, if you do the quiz this week, it will replace one of your old quiz scores. So now the second thing for this week is your discussion. Your discussion is also optional. It's not even on technology. It's actually a question about the class. We're always looking to make our classes better, to improve them, and so I've got some questions that I'd like you to talk about in the discussion prompt that essentially are just, what was your favorite part of the class? What was something that you're like, do not change this, I really liked this? What was the thing you disliked the most about the class? Tell me your experiences in the class, ideas you have for improvement. I definitely look at them, and so it kind of helps us to make the class better overall. Now, as a bribe, I'm essentially saying, hey, if you do this discussion being optional, you don't have to do it, but if you do it, I will replace one of your old discussion scores with this current discussion. And so there's been really no way of making up past work. If it's been past that 1 week late period, maybe something happened 1 week, you skipped a discussion, no problem. Do this one, it will replace the other one. And so that might improve your score here at the end of the semester. Now with those two things out of the way, that is our week 17. 2 optional assignments. You won't have a 1 week late period for them because there is no 1 week late. Everything after Sunday is done as we head into finals week. So then the last thing to concern yourself with is the final exam itself. The final exam will be taken in my IT lab. So it's not using Blackboard. You'll actually take it in my IT lab, but when we get the finals week folder will appear and it'll tell you where to go in my IT lab. But you'll see it right there, the final exam. However, the questions from the final exam are the exact same questions you've seen all semester in the quizzes. Specifically the chapter quizzes, so chapters 1 through 9, not including the Tech and Focus sections, which are the history of computers, the under the hood section that got really technical. Those things we're not going to cover, just the actual main chapters. So the questions are exactly the same ones that you've seen in the quizzes. The difference is your quizzes came from a pool of many questions. And so this final comes from all the pools, from all the chapters. And so it's really hard to say what questions you're going to get. You may get a question you've never seen before because you just randomly didn't get that week that you did the quiz. Not a whole lot we can do about that, but all the information is in the chapters. And so you can take this test in practically the exact same way you've taken the quizzes. If you've done well on the quizzes, you're probably going to do very well on the final. The final exam itself is 100 questions, multiple choice, taken from all 9 chapters. The finals week folder, along with the final exam, will appear at midnight on Saturday, which is to say You could think of it as midnight Friday or midnight Saturday, but it's the moment when Friday becomes Saturday. So you will have all day Saturday, you will have all day Sunday, you'll have all day Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday of finals week. So sometime in that period, you have to start your final and finish your final, actually. You can save for later. That is a possibility. So if you start the final, you get a little ways in, and then, oh, I can't finish. I've got something else to do. No problem. Save for later. Go back to it. It'll save your progress. No problem. You can skip around in the questions. Just be sure to have an answer for every question by the time Wednesday comes around. And be sure to submit your final exam submission once you're done. And so the deadline for your final exam is Wednesday at 11:59 p.m. You'll have, like I said, all day Saturday, all day Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday we handle any issues that might come up, but the final at that point is gone, and Friday we submit grades. So it's sort of a tight ship here at the end, but it's worth it. And I'm sort of cheating to make the final exam available earlier. The reason for that is because we have to submit grades on Friday. I'd like to give you guys a weekend. I know that a lot of you guys work, and so you don't have the ability to do something like a final exam during the week. You can only do it on the weekend. That's kind of when you normally do your work. And so hopefully with the light week 17, in fact, an optional week 17 really, and then you could just do the final exam this weekend if you can only work on the weekend, and you're done. So hopefully that works into your schedule. But yeah, anytime in those 5 days, make sure you start and finish your final. And then that's it. I'm hoping to have all of your final grades except for the final available to you next weekend, so that once you finish your final, you will see your final grade for the course. It'll just be right there in the grade book. Just click on My Grade, you'll see it, and you'll know what you got in the class. And that will be it. If you have any questions, feel free to email me, brian.baker@fresnocitycollege.edu. But other than that, it's pretty straightforward. Optional discussion, optional quiz. If you take them, they'll replace an old one, maybe one you've gotten a poor score on. And then this weekend, as well as the beginning of next week, you've got your final exam. So make sure you get that done. All right, it's been a great semester. Hopefully you've enjoyed it. Like I said, if you didn't enjoy it, make sure to make comments in the discussions this week so that we know why you didn't enjoy it. That being said, hopefully great things will happen to you, and yeah, have a great rest of your college career.